Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 8 of the 40-something Fit Dad podcast. And I'm your host, Aaron Ross. Just in case you didn't know, welcome. And thanks for jumping on board for another episode, for another week. What have I got in store for you for this episode? Bit of a lockdown update. All the Melburnians are still in lockdown, but there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. And hopefully, we'll get through it. We've come this far, There's no use. We'll get into it a bit later on. Sports report. So a big couple of weeks in sports. A big weekend coming up with the grand finals. Some big UFC fights, and then last week with the NBA, I'll tip into a bit of that because I like it. And the interview that I did with my wife's cousin, Tali's my wife, and what's his name? Brenton Pirihi. That was awesome. I really enjoyed that. It was an eye opener for me. We got some really good feedback from some of you listeners, and I really enjoyed it. I'm really enjoying this the interview process. It's something that if I say enjoy, you notice with me, I think with the first interview that I did with Justin, I said awesome a lot. I find a word and I just latch onto it. So yeah, it is what it is. And the big thing that we'll deep dive into is my 7-day challenge failure. So yes, it was a failure, but I'm all right. I'm happy. I'm good, and we'll get into that. So let's get into the episode. I just want to take this time out to say thank you for all your support over the last couple of months since I've started this podcast. And for me to grow this community, I really need you guys to subscribe. So if you're watching this on YouTube, hit the subscribe button and the notifications. And if you're listening on iTunes, hit the ratings and leave a review. Thanks again for your support, and enjoy the next episode. All right, Friday. We've got a public holiday in Melbourne for the grand final that is nowhere near us. The AFL grand final. Traditionally, the Friday before the game. For those who don't know, there's usually a grand final parade which they run through the city on the back of Hiluxes. And it's usually a big day. It's just probably in the last 3 or 4 years become a public holiday, and I think they just kept with it this year, even though the grand final's being played up in Brisbane. But I think we needed it anyway, just a bit of a breather, and it's going to be a good weekend, really good weekend, which we'll get into in my sports report, which I need a little jingle. But the lockdown update is. There is light at the end of the tunnel. There's going to be, I think I should know this. I do know this. The little ones are back at school. Taylor's back at school this Monday. So it's good. It's sort of ticking along. Hopefully that's, that gets gets them moving. I'm happy that they're going back to school. Harlem's fitted in nicely. She's off. It's good. It's good. The numbers are looking good. I've just sort of accepted this is where we're at. Yeah, it's a shitty situation, but this is where we're at. And we'll move on from that. There's a protest that's going to happen, which is, I guess we've got the right to protest, but I don't know. Who knows? We're nearly there. Why would we, why would we keep going with it? Just keep going with it. The retail and restaurants and things like that all got to be COVID safe. That's opening up on the 1st of November, so next week. So it's all, let's get on with it. Let's just get on with it. Yeah, it sucked, but adversity sort of strengthens you, I guess. That's the way I'm looking at it. But yeah, hopefully the rest of Australia. I'm hearing that there's a few cases over in New South Wales. Please, just hopefully they just stay the way they are. But I think it's just something that we've got to live with and we've got to manage. Yeah, we've had this near 3-month lockdown in Melbourne, probably the most intense lockdown anywhere in the world with the numbers that we've got in comparison to the rest of the world. So, yeah, this is what the cards that we've been dealt. Yeah, we can go out and protest and bitch and moan, but we've got to get on with it. I've said it before, I'd rather put all my energies into something that, is going to affect my family and in a positive way. So, yeah, that's it. That's it with lockdown. We're nearly there, guys, so just hang the heck in there. And it's nearly Christmas, so hopefully we can have a good Christmas. Anyway, sports report. It was it's been a big couple of weeks in sport, which I've had some teams that I'm following in. The Lakers won their championship, which was great. It didn't have the same feel to it, obviously. I mean, I've been a Lakers fan for probably 8 years. I mean, I'm not. Yeah, they're great. It's great. I love Kobe. I think it was good that the franchise did the job for Kobe. LeBron James has got to be up there with the GOAT. But the MJ, the Michael Jordan, LeBron v LeBron GOAT talk is just starting to wear thin. Who gives a shit? I mean, they're both the best players ever. Why does one have to be the best? I mean, MJ's got the rings. Who cares? Lakers won. Be happy. AD got his championship. It was good. It was really good. This weekend is a big weekend for AFL, NRL, especially here in Melbourne. 2 Melbourne teams in the AFL Grand Final. Victoria. I'm losing it. Geelong and Richmond. It's going to be a good game up in Brisbane. There's supposed to be some bloody thunderstorms or something like that. So yeah, I'm backing Geelong. But I'm a big fan of Dusty, so same with my wife. She said that too. But I think they'll do it for Gaz, the little master. But hopefully, I just want a good game. If I haven't got a team involved in it, then I just want a good game. NRL, the Melbourne Storm v Penrith Panthers, 1v2. It's going to be a great game. If Melbourne are on, they'll win. I know that's a very simple analysis of it, but I reckon Melbourne will kill them. I've taken a keen interest in NRL in the last week or so, couple of weeks. I haven't really got into it, but I just think Melbourne are a powerhouse, coached by a great coach. Cameron Smith's a fantastic leader, and they've just got these players that just play. It's just like they've got this. There's something about it, something about like an energy that's that Melbourne have, that the rest of the NRL hate. I know you listen to the commentary of Melbourne Storm games, the New South Wales commentary, far out. You can just feel the hatred in their voice. It's weird. It's strange, but they've got these players that they've plucked out of obscurity and just makes them into superstars. And I think Craig Bellamy's done that for his whole career and just made champions. And that's someone I'd love to get on this podcast. I'd love to just have a 10-minute chat with him just to get into, what makes him tick. I'm sure there's interviews out there I could just listen to, but why not? I'd love to chat to him. Cam Smith, Billy Slater. Josh Adokar is a freak, and my man Pappenhausen. I love him. He's about my weight, but frickin' hell he goes hard. And then there's Brendan Smith. Here's me just everyone. This team's been around for 20 years, and he's me just jumping on board when they're in another grand final. But hey, good luck to Melbourne. I think they'll get it up. The ABs, All Blacks come back. There was a bit of a scare with the draw last 2 weeks ago, but it must have been a full moon or something like that, because last Sunday, they just dominated. Australia's got a good team too, and it's beautiful to watch some really good, highly skilled rugby. It's a beautiful game. Again, I've been so AFL centric for the last 10 years due to the kids playing the game, so I've been fully immersed and really ignored both codes of rugby and rugby league. But actually sitting down and watching it, it's especially rugby, man. I must get into it, must get back into it, and hopefully with Super Rugby as well, and I might, with the Melbourne Rebels, might just get back into it. So that's a sports report. What else? UFC, of course. Damn, there's a big fight on Sunday morning, nice and early, about 5 a.m. It's Khabib Nurmagomedov. That is not how you pronounce his surname. There's Justin Gaethje for the light heavyweight, I think, light heavyweight title, man. And it's going to be big. It's going to be huge. And I think we will see the best fighter, Khabib, just cement his 30 and zip run, and he'll probably retire the champ. But I've just got on late with Khabib. I've just watched him when he beat McGregor, and they sort of promoted it like McGregor was the superstar and Khabib was the heel. But you're looking deep into it, man. Having a look at Khabib, he's a gentleman. He's a absolute monster, an animal, and I think Connor's just a bit of a showboat. But anyway, I'm really looking forward to that. So there'll be an early morning, Sunday morning. Last week's fight, Brian Ortega, he's back, man, versus the Korean Zombie. Ortega hadn't fought. I think that's one of the last fight that he was I actually watched it, was Ortega versus Max Holloway. And Max Holloway, it was a bloodbath, man. Max Holloway teed him up. That was to win the championship, and then I never heard of him again, and then come up against Korea Zombie and put on a masterclass. So he's back, and I think he's going to be fighting. He's due to fight. I think he's getting a shot at Alexander Volkanovski, the Aussie. That'll be cool. That'll be a good fight. And Alex Volkanovski, he's a beast. He's a beast. I hope you like the new set, new location. Just to brighten it up, the black background was a bit depressing. But yeah, that's my sports update. It's going to be a big weekend, and hopefully your team gets up. So yeah, the interview with Brenton Pirihi, I really enjoyed. I've known Brenton for probably close to 20 years, and it's probably the first time that I've actually spoken to him like that. And what he's done over the last year has been nothing but, it's been fantastic. He's had some dramas with his relationship, and he worked on them. Especially inspiring was his just drive to better himself health wise. I recognised at the start of the year that things weren't looking too good. He was tipping the scales at 140. Shit, I hope I got that right. I don't want to insult him, but he's down to down to, he's lost over 30 kilos. He's got himself in a great headspace. And it's been great to watch, great to see a young guy actually do it. And his relationship with his kids is fantastic. He's got a great career with a job that he loves in e-skateboards, which is a lot of fun. He brought him over to the batch probably 2 years ago. They're freaking scary, man. They're full on, but I can see the fun in them. But I'm a pussy with that sort of stuff. But he's living the life. He's still got a lot of work to do, which I'm glad he's recognised, and he's working hard on it, man. He's working hard on it, And I got some calls and messages through the week saying that thanks for the interview. It's an inspiration, all that sort of stuff. And the advice that I give, like what Brenton did, was just make a decision and go for it. For him to go into that boot camp and throw up and then go back again and then just keep on doing it, and to where he is now, he's smashing it. But my advice would be, if you are in this position, that where your health and your fitness is needing some work, is to join things like boot camps. Join things like F45's another good one. CrossFit, that's where you sort of grow from that, because you get to inspire, you get inspiration through others, you get professional coaching, and you get that motivation as well to keep going back. You grow, you sort of have a bond, and this sort of, that's, what's that word? That you just have to keep going back. You feel obliged to keep going back. You do pay a little bit of money, but you can't put money on your health, especially at our age. If you're sort of mid 30s to 40s, going into 50, you got to look after your health. Your body isn't. We're not going to be around here forever. Your body's not getting any younger. So it was really good to listen to, and I'm finding it that I'm actually connecting with people, which is one of my things that I had to work on. And through this, I'm actually doing it, and I'm actually really enjoying the connection. I did a interview with a guy that I did CrossFit with, Glenn. And again, I didn't know him on a level, but now that we've had this form of conversation, form of communication, it's been great. It's been great, and hopefully this will sort of tip. I don't want to just be that surface. But my personality has always been. I've always just been, on the surface. Yeah, how's it going, mate? How's work? Blah blah blah. But never really, get to know, let people in on how I am, and to actually, have that deeper sort of conversation. So it was great. I hope to do it again with him in person. My dream would be to actually get a sort of mobile podcast set up that I can take overseas to New Zealand and do interviews with friends and family over there, and people that I may meet along the way. And I was really impressed with speaking to Brenton, and I was really grateful that he opened up the way that he did. So the 7-day challenge, that was a challenge that I took upon myself to try and wean myself off social media, porn, those real addictive behaviors that I've got, and try and put in some good behaviors, some behaviors that will benefit me. So I did fail at it, but the good thing about failing at things is, one, I had a go at it and tried it, and two, I've learnt of where I failed, what sort of triggered me to sort of fail at it, and then I can sort of reboot it and go again. So that's one bit of. I'll go through what the 7-day challenge is, where I fell down, and where I'm going to go from here. So I think it's going to be like a rolling 7 days, and 7 days is good because it's not this big, sort of unattainable thing. Like, I'm never going to touch social media ever again, or I quit this and I'm never going. It's unattainable. It is unattainable. And I'm reading a book. This part of my thing. I'm reading a book called Irresistible, The Rise of Addictive Technology and the Business of Keeping Us Hooked. It's written by Adam Alter. I've been listening to it on Audible, up to the bit where he's talking about abstinence and just techniques and how to try and manage behavioural addictions, which is your social media and your porn's a behavioural, not a substance addiction. Yes, I'll get into that. I should have listened to that first and then got into this, but no, I haven't. So so the 7-day challenge I did was 7 days of no social media or porn. Each day drinking 3 litres of water, 8 hours of sleep, no junk food, 1 hour of exercise, read a book, meditate, connection with family, and working on my side hustle. So for the first, during the week it was good because, I think during the week you're structured. You wake up at a certain time, you go to get ready, go to work, come home, dinner, and then bed. There's that certain structure. But with your weekends, if you don't have, sorry, Manai's just destroying the place. If you don't have that structure, then it's very hard it's tough. So structure is something that I'll be taking into my next 7 days, and we'll go from there. So yeah, for the first week, I was fantastic. I was running. I got to pause this. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm back. Manai was destroying the joint. So with my exercise, I was running, which I hadn't done for a long time. I don't like doing it, but I'm okay at it. Up to 4 to 5 Ks a day. Bike riding, about 3 Ks, just a small bike ride with the girls, which was cool, which also, it sort of went in with my connection and with the girls getting a bit of exercise, getting out of the house, still being homeschooled or tailing anyway. So that was good. Walking Manaya. So the exercise part was good. But that's one of the things that I've also had an exercise addiction as well. But this, it's a good sort of trade-off. 8 hours sleep. I was make sure that I've sort of reverse engineer when I wanted to get up and when my bedtime was, the wind down thing. No phones or TV or anything before, a couple of hours before bed, or at least half an hour before bed. And that was working. Complete dark room, getting good hours, and then waking up just refreshed, ready to go. Meditate in the morning, journal, good breakfast, and have a great day at work. So it was, and plus no junk food as well. Just eating, I wouldn't say I was super clean, but it was better than Macca's. I mean, which is something, no soft drink. So I had 5 days of good living, and I felt good. I had a business thought that I was talking to people about, I was fully aware of where I was at with living like this, with doing this. And then the weekend came. Saturday was good, but then Saturday night came along. Football was on. I was home alone, few beers, and then off to the races. And it was just on, social media, which led to porn, which led to no sleep, which then the next day it was just back at it. Poor eating, drinking soft drink, no exercise, and and then I let it run. I let it run. I was feeling pretty shitty about myself for failing, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, what can I learn from this? How do I run? And I was fully aware of how I was running on autopilot. And then, the next day at work, I got up late. I had a shit sleep. Ate junk. Just distracted. Had my phone on me, on my phone. And then just come home and just no connect, just withdrawn. And I was like, what? Wow, And it's taken me to today to get back into it, 3 days of this. And it was like, wow, it was a realization that from where it was same time last week, coming up with just the brain was firing. Everything was, I'm getting my dopamine hit from positive things to searching for dopamine hits. If I feel shit, which, due to lack of sleep, lack of good food, finding a dopamine hit on social media or wherever it is. So it's like, wow, this is how I've been running for 10 years, 10, 20 years. All my life, I don't know how far back we can go, because I haven't been, I've never really taken stock of what my behaviors were. I just went with it. If I didn't stuff up somehow, then I'm okay. But wow, it was a big eye opener. And that's why I think, 7 days is good, because there isn't a big grand, I'm never going to do this again. Because if you fail at it, then that's it. You did it. But with this, it's a 7 day thing. I was 70% there. I don't know. I was nearly there. So it had a success rate. It was over 50%. So I'll take that. I'll take that win. And that's the thing. I've just given myself small goals, is to have those small wins along the way, and not, just put myself in mental hell trying to. I don't know. It's something that, I've just got to keep on working it, and I'm happy with that. And I've got, I'm probably not going to go with the full. I know the top. Did I talk about the book? Yeah, the book that I'm reading is on about how social media, like apps, games, all these things are basically wiring us to get dopamine hits, and that's all it is. You just the chance of you getting addicted to these games is high. And it goes through. I'll go into it a bit. I should do a book review or something like that, because it's been really good. And I watched The Social Dilemma, I think, on Netflix, and it was sort of scratched the surface on it. It was a bit airy-fairy with some of the examples and so forth, but it was good. It was good, and it explained pretty much the same things, but this book goes into depth, goes into the how and whys of the addictive mind and dopamine, how powerful your brain drives to get that dopamine hit. So I've sort of looked at it and go, maybe because when I was off my phone, off my social media during the week, I still had the habit of flicking through my apps, and I was looking at things like YouTube, how many YouTube watches I got on my videos. So I'll just keep on going to that, and if it changes, cool. But never happy. If I had 20, okay, I'll keep on flicking to 21. Okay, I got 20. Okay, how come I'm not getting 22? Like, I can see what I was just chasing the dragon. Wouldn't matter if 1,000 views come up, which would be nice. Okay, that's why can't I get 1,001? It's never going to be happy. So I'm just starting to recognize that, and looking for things to be upset about, and then I can go, okay, I got to find a dopamine hit. I got to get that hit, and then it's powerful stuff, man. It's and it's going to be a lot. It's pretty much what I've got from it is that our brain can't handle all these things that we've been given, all these technologies and things that we've been given. It's pretty much got us fucked. We are pretty much, they have dialed right into human behaviors, and they've got us. They've got us. So it's just a matter of us to try and recognize what we're doing, how much time, how much energy we're putting into social media. A lot of social media, there are small portions that are, great, catching up with people, but there's a lot of poison out there, a lot of shit that people get angry at that aren't even on the radar. But you just see, it's funny. But it's something that I've recognized, and it's something that I can work on. It's workable. It just takes discipline. And that's the thing, is finding that discipline in myself to recognize what I'm doing and to put it down and say, nope, no. This is, exactly where this is going to go. So, yeah, that's why I enjoyed the failure. I am happy that I failed. And I realized that, that's what happens on like 10-week fitness challenges and things like that. When people work so hard through those fitness challenges, and once it ends and you don't have a goal or structure and you're there to fend for yourself, let's go get, I deserve this Macca's. I deserve this. My thing is soft drink. I deserve this Coca-Cola. And away, we're away. The dopamine there, and you need it. The cravings are there. So whatever your addiction is, and if you don't have a handle on it, the first thing to do is recognize it. This is coming from my personal point of view, and I'll keep going with this 7-day challenge. And if is 7 days too long, then do a 2-hour challenge, do a 1-hour challenge. Just challenge yourself. Give yourself, that little bit of a goal, some structure, and just execute it. I'm sticking with 7 days because I think 7 days is it's an achievable goal, and I'm going to make adjustments through the way. With social media, I'll probably I've got to find a way that I can, because I'm posting a lot of stuff. I want to sort of get my content out. So social media is obviously one of the biggest things, the best things there. I think there's an app called Hootsuite, which you can it's basically an app that you can put all your postings on there, and it just sends it away to your pages. So I don't know, but I like the interaction as well, especially when it comes to the podcast. So I've got a bit of work ahead of me, but I like it. I like the challenge. I like trying to get that discipline, trying to work on that discipline, and recognizing my ego and my ego. I wrote it down somewhere. I'll try and find it, but yeah, you going on autopilot with all the stuff that we've got ahead of us, like Netflix, social media, whatever it is in front of us that gives us this dopamine hit that is just amazing. Trying to get yourself on autopilot through that is good luck. Good luck. If you can do that, and if you do that, get back to me and tell me how you do it. Whatever your biggest addiction is, sugar, food, whatever, exercise, and how you get through it with it, how you manage it. So by me flicking through like my YouTube, when I didn't have the apps on there, and just going through that habit, going through the social media, how many views and stuff, it was a dopamine hit, but it wasn't a big one. It wasn't a massive one. It wasn't the one that ruins your day. It wasn't the one where I could spend hours and hours and hours on it, just hitting that dopamine. Not even interested, but eventually I'd get interested in it. And just hitting that dopamine button. But yeah, I could put it down. I did the lot, how it's got how much screen time you have on your phone. I got it down to, from 7 hours a day to an hour. I think it was an hour and a half maybe. And the rest was interaction with people, concentrating on my work, concentrating on my side hustle, exercising, eating right, and doing the right things. So that's it. That was my failure. And I learned from my failures. If you don't learn, number one, to fail at something is good because at least you had a crack at it. At least you had a go at it. And you can look back on it, rejig it, and go again. And just keep failing. Just keep failing because at least you're executing. Having an idea and not executing is just an idea. But you executing, going for it, fucking up, and then review it.